Okay, so thank you for joining us. So for the session today on procurement information with the Government of Canada for EDOs. And what this is information so that EDOs can best decide a path forward for the community or the businesses in their community. Government procurement is an opportunity. It's not for everyone. So you have to judge for yourself and evaluate the readiness of the businesses in your community or the businesses controlled by the community in terms of if it's a path forward. For many communities, it's a way to diversify revenue streams, increase markets, and so on. With us today is Daniel Sandoz with Procurement Assistance Canada, Pacific Region, part of Procurement, oh, I did it again, Public Services and Procurement Canada, PSPC. Daniel, you ready to go with your presentation?
I'm ready.
Very good.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone, depending on where you're located in this beautiful country. Myself, I have the immense privilege to live in Victoria, on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, on the traditional lands of the Songhees and the Esquimalt nations. We will be looking at different parts of the procurement process today, and today we will be looking at buy and sell. That's our most prominent website where we post opportunities, and I will share my screen so we can, hopefully it works. Yes, now I just need this one. So as Paul mentioned, I'm working for Procurement Assistance Canada, which was formerly known as the Office of Small and Medium Enterprises. Some may know that name, or OSME, which was the acronym under which we were coming. So what do? We support small and medium enterprises and diverse business to get to know and navigate through the federal procurement process, to look at, we also engage with you to get to know where are your pain points, where do you see barriers, where do you have barriers in doing business with the Government of Canada. We also help demystify federal procurement, that the Government of Canada is always only focused on large enterprises. So today we will be looking at the buy and sell website. This is where the Government of Canada is posting most of its large tenders. There are some government entities from the federal government who are not posting it there, but most large tenders are posted on buyandsell.gc.ca, with exception of Defense Construction Canada, which uses a different platform. So we were looking at the tendering website, which is called GET as the acronym, which is also on buy and sell. We'll look on how to search for tenders. We will follow opportunities. I will also give you information on what to look for when you're in a tender document. What should you look for before you read the entire document? So as I mentioned, that the government is, so just have to put this down. Yeah, this is including small and diverse businesses. They want to do business with everyone in Canada. They want to do business with small businesses in Canada. So there's a wide ranging, so the large majority of contracts is going to small and medium-sized businesses. And the Government of Canada is one of the largest buyers. So we buy between 17 and 23 billion dollars of goods and services a year, with 74% of the contracts going to medium and small sized businesses. So my department, Procurement, Public Services and Procurement Canada, is the largest buyer within the federal government. We do a lot of buying on behalf of other departments within the federal family. And if it's over a certain threshold, it goes mostly over us. Some departments like National Defense, they have a higher threshold before they have to go over us. But a lot of departments are also choosing for lower dollar contracts to go use our services. And everything is regulated under federal laws and the Treasury Board, which creates policies based on those laws. So on buy and sell, you will find really lots of information. You will find on how you register as a supplier if you intend to do business with the government of Canada and the procurement goes over buy and sell, or that procurement, Public Services and Procurement Canada is the buying entity. If it's some lower dollar contract, or the government calls low dollar contract, so beyond below the $25,000 threshold for goods or $40,000 for services, departments may have their own process to buy. So that's where you as a supplier can be more active. Like everything under $10,000, government departments with their teams, they have what the government calls an acquisition card, which is a credit card. So they can process payments up to $10,000 per transaction, including taxes. So there are different ways of doing business with the government. There are different strategies of doing business with the government of Canada. So if you're looking for those type of contracts, that's where you as a supplier are more active, versus if you using those larger contracts, those ones will be posted on buy and sell, and you will have to react to what the government is posting. So you will find also on buy and sell, you will also find the contract history. So you can see who won a certain contract. You can see how much of a certain good or service has been bought. You can see who bought it within the government structure. You can also see where the end user is located. You can sort it by fiscal year. It's posted by fiscal year. It's in an Excel format. So if you're well versed with Excel, you can do your own research. One thing to keep in mind, these are larger files, and every column is mentioned twice, once in French and once in English, or once in English and once in French. So you have to blend out every second column of your preferred language. And then you can make your own evaluation. You will find also all the SAC manual, so with the standard acquisition, what the government calls, and clauses. So you find the policies, the guidelines, and you will find also our upcoming seminars, which are held across Canada in various time zones. So you don't have to stick with your own time zone where you are and find a seminar there. You can access all the seminars across Canada. We will look at this. We will look at the different tabs in a minute. So what you will find on the buy and sell, which I mentioned before, the $25,000 for goods and $40,000 thresholds for services. That's what the government calls competitive procurement. That's where it's a post an opportunity, and there's waiting for suppliers to submit a solicitation to it with their bids and quotes. And then the government is having different evaluation methods. Everything will be named and written about it in the different solicitation documents. There are different types of documents. There's the invitation to tender, a request for proposal, a request for a standing offer, and the supply arrangement. Sometimes the government also asks for information if they need more information before they post an opportunity. That's in there. It's another way of which is posted as well ahead of a procurement. When you go to buy and sell, the tender and look for tenders, you will see different tabs. So pre-configured one. New today, that means that all the new tenders that have been posted within the last 24 hours, that's new. So you can focus on those. Amended today, that means that something has changed within the tender. Sometimes it's because the closing date of the tender has changed, or suppliers had questions and answers, and those ones have been posted as an amendment on buy and sell, or something else has changed within the tender. More clarification, everything is posted, and that information you will find as an amendment. Under active, you will find all the active ones. Then you can have them separated in goods, services, or services related to goods and constructions. Then you will see closing in 24 hours. That means you don't have much time left to answer those. Expired, that's all the ones that have are closed. Those ones you're too late to submit a bid for. But if you're interested in, you can still look at them and read about it for future use. Awards, you can see about the contract awards. So buy and sell can become your best friend, but there's so much information, so you need to start become literate on what you look for information, because there's so much information available there. Like I mentioned before, you will find the contract history to make your own evaluation on who could be a potential competitor. Where was the good delivered? Where was it bought from? It doesn't mean that everything that is delivered or the goods need to be delivered to British Columbia, that it's always procurement entity within government from British Columbia is buying it for British Columbia. It can be that it's a team out of Ontario who will buy something that needs to be delivered in British Columbia, and vice versa. It can be a team from Vancouver or Victoria who is buying something that will be delivered in the Atlantic region or in Ontario or Quebec. So you will find lots of other data about the procurement process. You will also find on how you can register as a supplier when you intend to do business with it. It gives you a step-by-step guide on the website. You can look at all the data. You can look at tenders. You can look at all the data. You can download contract history without registering. There's no registration needed for that one. You register when you intend to do business with government. Before that, you can look at everything. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You can look at it. You can do with it what you want. You can read. You don't need to be registered. You can also do when you're interested to follow a certain opportunity, you can make that you get an email notification or a RSS feed or admin feed. You can sign up for them. There's also a guide on that, on how to do it within the opportunity. You can find updates. Like I mentioned, these ones will be published as amendments in a specific tender opportunity. You can also do your own searches. You can enter keywords, like if you know what you're looking for. So often it's in plain language, but sometimes the government is using a little bit more complicated way of describing something. As an example, masks were often described as a face covering or cloth mask. And then you enter that. Then it shows you on a sidebar. It will show you different regions of Canada. Then you can sort. Okay, I'm only interested for Alberta. Then you can only look at the ones from Alberta. Like I mentioned before, contract history, you can download contract history. You can look at standing offers. You can look at different other things as well. Just waiting. Here it mentions now about COVID response. That was really early on in COVID times, where the government was looking for suppliers to supply PPE. So they had a questionnaire up there. You will still find all the information. You will find all the specification. If the government is looking for PPE, they will be posting opportunities on the website. They also have the Canada PPE Supply Hub, which you find the tab over there as well. You will find the different tabs here, like here, the For Business tab. That's the one you will be looking at. Then there's a sub-tab, which is Resources for Business. And we will be going to look at it in a minute. You will also see something mentioned that the government will be moving to an electronic procurement system, that the government is modernizing procurement. You can already sign up for it and register on it. That's on canadabuys.ca. It will gradually replace buy and sell. Right now, it's still buy and sell. That's your go-to website. Some opportunities will be posted on Canada Buys, but all will also be posted on buy and sell right now. The transition hasn't happened yet. So what is Canada Buys? Canada Buys is the Government of Canada, a version or the interface you're looking at, and it's based on SAP Ariba in the back. So our team, we have teams across Canada. I'm part of what the government calls the Pacific region. So that's British Columbia and the Yukon. We have another team which does all the prairie provinces. They are located in Alberta, in Edmonton, and in Saskatchewan. Then we have an office in Toronto who does Ontario. I have another team which is located in Ottawa, which does the Ottawa region. We have a team which is in Montreal, who is doing Quebec. We have another team in Nova Scotia, which is responsible for the Atlantic region of Canada. So seminars we do is about doing business with the Government of Canada, finding opportunities. That's what we're doing right now. Bidding on opportunities, then there's defense and security procurement, supplying professional services, obtaining security clearances, and much more. So you see here all the different offices and what the regions mean. So what else will you find on buy and sell? So let's see if the tabs work. No, that's a reference. Yep, that's not what I wanted. Let's go. Wanted to go to make a demonstration. Can you see still see my screen?
Yes, Daniel.
Yeah. Want to make a live demonstration of buy and sell.
You're showing a screen cap of a conversation.
Okay, so let's stop sharing. And then I will do the sharing again.
Okay.
Doesn't let me stop sharing.
Yeah, you've just stopped sharing.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see the buy and sell website. Yep.
So what has changed from when you look at the seminar slide to this one? The yellow bar right now speaks to Canada Buys and that you can register today. As I mentioned before, we're not there yet that we fully transitioned to the new site. So buy and sell is still your go-to website. And it mentioned on the end the service guide. It's always when we do screen sharing, it's always slow. It doesn't always work the way we want. So when you go on the For Business tab, it has a sub tab which says Resources for Business. This is a great part of the website to go to if you're looking for information. You will see the supply manual, standard clauses, the policy, the code of conduct for procurement officers. Here you will find a lot of information, which you will see parts of it in tender documents. Here you will find the online tools. So what is a GSON code? That's kind of a product code number which the government uses for, and then we will go and look at it in a minute. I mentioned contract history. You will find a tab here on the contract history. Here, if you decide, oh, I want to be a supplier to PWGSC, to Public Services and Procurement Canada, so I want to register. So it will bring you to the first page of how to register as a supplier. Here it will tell you what you need to provide to get what the government calls a procurement business number. That's the first part of your registration. For that, you will need the business number you have with a CRA. If you don't have one, you can call and register with CRA to get one. The links and the phone number I will provide it on our website. Once you have that, you can go to the gray Start tab and start your registration. It will ask you for your first 9 digits, so the first 9 numbers of that business number. And then you click on Start, then you get to it's a multi-step registration. Then the next step is it will ask you for your associated with that business number. You have to enter that, and then it will ask you for an email and a phone number and the name, and then you click on Go. Then it goes to CRA to look that the 2 parts are matching. If the 2 parts are matching, name and number is matching, then you get an email back inviting you to the second part of the registration. Otherwise, you get an email saying that the information is not matching and gives you a phone number to call. It's waiting to buy and sell to react. It's called resources. You will find the reference sheets. So these are notes sheets from all the seminars we do, which gives you, provides you, it's always in a Word document, which has a little description. Yeah, I can show you one like this. And it will have, I think I have to, yeah. And on the side, it will give you the links. You can click on it and it will bring you to the appropriate part of what you're looking for on the government website. You can download those. Those ones are always kept current. That's why they're here for you. They're called the seminar notes. You will see for each seminar there is the notes. Here you say, okay, I have now been looking at all the different procurement opportunities. I want to have some assistance. You can call the helpline, or you can request a callback, which is a form, and then they will ask you in which regions you're located. And that region will then get the form sent to their inbox, and someone out of that region will call you back, or you click on the region, on the last tab, which tells you where the regional offices are located in your region. So I'm part of Pacific region. My sub office here in Victoria is not named on it, but we are, half the team is in Victoria, half the team is in Vancouver. Victoria is a satellite office of the Vancouver office, so that's why you see the mailing office, the address of the Vancouver office. Right now, we're still all working mostly from home. So right now I'm calling, you see in the back, that's my house. Let's go back to the main site of BindCell. So do not get anyone in trouble by looking at a current open tender. I'm not allowed to speak to current open tenders, so we will be looking at an expired tender. So each tender notice that is published, that's how, when you go on BindCell, how the site looks like. You will see when it has been published, that's when it has been posted. When the date of the last changes that has happened. Date of closing, that's very important. Tells you when it closes. Equally important is this in the back is the time zone, because procurement can close in any of the time zones, because we have procurement officers across Canada. I'm part of different procurement teams, different procurement offices across Canada. So it's really important that you also keep in mind the case 2 p.m. Eastern, very important if you're out in the West. But to keep that in mind, that 2 p.m. Eastern is something else in your time zone. You will have a short description here. Very important here, it says contact information, the contact name. When that procurement was open, this person is the only one who is allowed to talk to you, supplier, about the tender. He's the only one who can answer questions. And yes, you can raise questions, you can read, and if something is unclear in the tender document, it's unclear to you, don't make assumptions. Get in touch with the procurement officer, the contact person in question. That person changes from tender to tender, so each tender has a different person. So get in touch with that person. In the tender document, which is always the 00 document, it will tell you when to ask questions. Sometimes it says you can ask questions up to 5 days before bid closing. So you have 5 business days up to when the bid closing is, where you can ask questions. And I encourage you to ask questions whenever something is unclear to you. Ask questions up to the deadline where they say they have to give you an answer. After that, you may be answered depending on how much work they have. But up to that time, they have to give you an answer. So I encourage you to always look and take the opportunity to raise questions. The other thing I would look at before you have to read the whole document, but before you do, is look at the statement of work. When you have read the statement of work, then you can think, is that something I'm interested in? Is that something I can provide? If I cannot provide this, but I know I can do 80% of it, but I know who could do the other 20% of it, then that's you can look who of you two will be the main contractor or the subcontractor. It will let you know in the document if you can do that. Sometimes they say no, it will tell you the instructions on how to do that. Then you as a business must you make your decision. Yes, I want to be a bidder, or I don't want to be a bidder on it. Once you have read the statement of work, you can then the next thing I would look, does it need a security clearance? Some of them will tell you it needs a security clearance. Some will tell you they don't. If you need a security clearance and you know you don't have one with the Government of Canada or with that department, then follow the process named as soon as you can to start the process, because it's not something that is done within 24 hours. After that, I would look also at the evaluation process. How is the government doing the bid evaluation? This will give you a lot of indication on how to write your bid and what the government is looking for. And then, of course, once you have done those few things and you say, yes, that's something I'm interested in, read the whole document. Also, once you have read the whole document, look at amendments. These can be changes to the bid, to the tender. This can be a change of the closing time or something in the content of it. It can be a clarification. It can be answering questions that some other suppliers had ahead of you. So you need absolutely to read all the amendments before you submit your bid, so you don't miss anything before you submit your bid. And please, if anything is unclear to you when you read through the document, raise questions. Get in touch with the contact, which is named here and is named in the bid solicitation document as well. That person is named on the title page. Follow the process named in the document itself on how to and when to raise the questions. Like I was saying earlier, that we can do keywords searches. Like at this time, I put cloth mask, and the government called it the face cloth mask. But with here, you can also search for so when we go now to go back to my cloth mask. Here you will have the tabs, which will you You could have followed. You can follow by email. So when you click on this one, you will be following this. You will add here an email address. I want to follow this tender, and I want to follow all the related procurement items to this tender. Then they want to make sure that you're not a robot, so you do this. And the question here is to click on submit, and then you will get updates. It's one way of doing it, or you follow the opportunity by an RSS feed. It will tell you how to do an RSS feed. The GSIN code, like I mentioned, that's like a product number or a SKU number in private industry. That's his number, and each of them are available for search as well. Depending if what you're selling is a good, a service, or a service related to goods or construction, there's different tabs which are also pre-select on where to look for for the GSIN codes. Construction services, I just took one as an example. Then you can drill down. Then it goes to different parts of construction. Construction of buildings, just take one as an example. That's one thing you can use also for your keyword search. You can use also the number in the GSIN code and look for the GSIN code. Like there's so much information you can look for on the website. And now I welcome any question you may have.
If you have a question for Daniel, you can certainly use the chat or just activate your microphone and ask directly.
And if you want to get in touch with me afterwards, I will add my information as well. Let me type today.
If there are no more questions, then we'll give you back some of your day. Just wanted to thank Daniel for sharing his expertise and knowledge with us. Daniel is also part of a mentorship program that we've started. Actually, it was started a year ago, but we're continuing for Cando members to have a more hands-on approach to the procurement process and how to navigate through the buy and sell website and look through bids, RFPs and bids and that kind of thing. And that's actually starting tomorrow. The closing date for applications for that was last week, but we are working with Daniel and PAC and PSPC to continue mentorship beyond this next phase, probably starting sometime at the end of May or early June. So if you're interested in that and you're a Cando member, more information will be in the Cando Connect magazine and the regular weekly e-newsletter. So if you'd like kind of more of a hands-on approach to kind of guide you through the process, then look to that and consider participation in the mentorship program. It's basically 5 sessions, 1 session per month for about an hour 15 minutes. And then there's also some one-on-one work between you and PSPC to kind of navigate through your specific needs and wants and goals. So there's some group work and there's some one-on-one work as well as part of that mentorship. So just keep an eye on that. So thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Always appreciate hearing from you and navigating the procurement process. Everyone, thank you for sharing your day with us. We'll now give you back 18 minutes. So take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I encourage everyone, you can get in touch with us at any time. Posted the contact information in the chat.
Much appreciated.
Bradley, I just read your comment. Can you send me an email? And then I'll follow through. And let's just see. I just sent you my email address, Bradley. Brad, sorry. All right. I'm going to end the session now. Brad, if you can send me that email, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. Take care.